Hello, I'm Todd Gamboa, President of Building Trust, and today we're going to talk about plumbing. And not just plumbing, but plumbing that makes sense. Plumbing has changed a lot over the last 20 to 30 years, and most people are unaware of these different advances in plumbing. I know it sounds like a dirty subject, but it's something that's important in every single home. And typically you don't realize how important it is until something goes wrong. But there's a lot of changes in plumbing over the years, and the number one thing is efficiencies. We've learned to stop wasting water, and we learned to do a better job of transporting warm water to its source without wasting. Now, obviously, safer and healthier appliances is part of it. Water heaters have long time been a pollutant inside the house as they burn off natural gas. Obviously, the byproduct is carbon monoxide, and they're typically the leakiest thing in the home. As more and more builders put in a 90% furnace with sealed combustion, the water heater is still the weak spot in the house. Over 430 people die a year from non-fire-related carbon monoxide deaths, and most of this is due to combustion appliances, things like water heaters. We've done a much better job of sealing those up as we've introduced power-vented and sealed combustion water heaters. That's something to think about as you're buying or selling a home. Make sure that water heater is safe. Remember, there's people, typically in Colorado, we have finished basements, and there's people living next to that water heater, maybe in the rec room or a guest bedroom or somewhere down in the basement. Another thing we look at is the low storage, where we have Insta-Hot or we have warm water on demand, things like the tankless units. We also plumb the houses differently. Instead of using copper lines everywhere, we're using plastic lines and PVC and PEX, where it's a continuous line from the water heater all the way to the fixture. These are some of the many improvements that we've seen, but we've also seen differences in the fixtures themselves. We used to look at the 5-piece bath as an upgrade. But more and more, you're finding builders that are building larger shower stalls with multiple heads or maybe a rain head over the top, as opposed to that big soaking tub that none of us ever sit in. It's one of those things that as consumer trends change, builders change, and plumbers are changing. Another thing we're looking at is finishes. Instead of chrome and bronze or brass, we're finding oil rub bronze and satin nickel and brushed chrome and other types of surfaces that are more contemporary with what we're building these days. And the thing you want to look for, WaterSense plumbing fixtures. So we have to consider from the water heater all the way to the fixture. These are the advances that we're seeing. It used to be that we had copper in all of our homes, and they had many joints, many of which might leak over a period of time. Copper was expensive as it's a commodity. And so we've seen changes, and those fittings have now gone away. We're adding ManaBlock and manifold systems where you can control the hot water and the cold water separately. Should you happen to have a leak, you can turn off one zone and keep the house running while you fix that problem. Also, when running from a manifold, you go from the source all the way to the fixture. So no fittings that you have to worry about as far as leaks. We're seeing changes in water heaters, where we used to have that atmospheric vented water heater. It doesn't take much roof action and wind to cause a water heater like this to backdraft. So those are going away, and you're not finding them as much in new construction. If you're selling a resale home and they need to replace the water heater, take that atmospheric vented unit out of the house and replace it with something like a power vented water heater. It's a little bit more expensive, but you're assured that the home buyer buying that home will not have to worry about carbon monoxide from that water heater. We also do things like tankless options that are energy efficient and reduce emissions. And when it gets to those fixtures, there's huge changes. Matter of fact, in the state of Colorado, last year we passed a law that said that retailers will have to start selling WaterSense fixtures. These are fixtures that are guaranteed to save at least 20% of water, but in most cases, 30 to 50% of that water consumption. And think about this. Although we think about irrigation, 70% of most domestic water use is inside the home. We've taken toilets that used to use 3.5 and 4 gallons per flush, now using 1.3 gallons per flush. So that reduces the water substantially. Shower heads and faucets have also come down and cut down about 40 to 50% of its consumption. Now you can actually afford that water when that teenager takes that shower. It's a big deal when we talk about kitchen faucets because we're running our faucets all the time. We've reduced from 3 to 4 gallons per minute down to 2.2 gallons per minute. Same thing happens with dishwashers and appliances like clothes washers. We waste thousands of gallons every single year of potable water. That can be reduced or eliminated going with WaterSense plumbing fixtures. So if you're looking at a new home, chances are your builder's including this. If you're looking at fixing up that home you're trying to sell, this is the best investment you can make for your buyers when it comes to water efficiency. It used to be back in the 70s, we had ways of saving water, and that was throwing bricks in the tank. Those days are gone. Now we can do one thing, and that is look for the WaterSense logo. If you've got the WaterSense logo on your toilets or fixtures, you're guaranteed you're going to save a lot of money and a lot of water. Well, that's plumbing. Hopefully it wasn't too bad, and hopefully you learned a little bit something about the new WaterSense plumbing fixtures. I'm Todd Gamboa, and thanks for watching.